morning, dear students. A warm welcome. We are going to start the first chapter of grade 11, which is called as Evolution and Fundamentals of Business. Now, in this chapter, we are going to talk about business, trade, and commerce. Talking about history of trade and commerce, the economic and commercial evolution of any land depends upon its physical environment. This stands true for the Indian subcontinent as a whole, which has Himalayas in the north bordered by water in the south, a network of roads merging into the Silk Route helped in establishing commercial and political contacts with adjoining foreign kingdoms and empires of Asia in particular and the world in general. Now, let us talk about the history of trade and commerce. So, trade and commerce have played a vital role in making India as a major actor in the economic world in ancient times. Now let us go back to the ancient cities of India. We will give an example of commercial cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, where the business development of ancient India took place. Moving on, these civilizations had established a commercial connection with Mesopotamia and traded in gold, silver, copper, gemstones, beds, pearls, seashells, etc. So when I talk about the word Mesopotamian civilization, it refers to the present day Iraq, Kuwait, Iran and Syria. Now, there were different types of coins and weighing practices during the ancient time. In this slide, we are going to talk about the indigenous banking system in India. As economic life progressed, metallic money had been introduced, which in turn accelerated the economic activities. Documents such as hundi and chitti were in use for carrying out transactions in which money passed from hand to hand. Now you would be asking, so what is a hundi? So dear students, hundi as an instrument of exchange, it involves a contract which warrant the payment of money, the promise or order which is unconditional and capable of change through transfer by valid negotiation. You can see a small example of hundi given on your screen. The indigenous banking system played a prominent role in lending money and financing domestic and foreign trade with currency and also letter of credit. Now, with the development of banking, people began to deposit precious metals with leading individuals functioning as bankers or seikhs. Now, let us talk about the hundis practiced by the Indian merchant communities in the past. Now the first example is Dhani Jog, and the category is called as Darshani, and the function was, it was payable to any person, no liability over who received the payment. Now let us talk about the next one, which is called as Sahajog. This is also under the category of Darshani. It is payable to specific persons, someone very respectable liability over who received the payment. Let's come down to the third one. This is called as Farmanjo, and this also comes under the category of Darshini. This is payable to order. Moving on, we have next, which is called as Dekhanhar. Now this category is called as Muddati. Here the amount is payable to the presenter or the bearer. Next, Dhanijo, again in the category of Muddati, it is payable to any person, no liability over who received the payment, but payment over a fixed term. Moving on, Farman Jog. This is also under the category of Muddati. It is payable to order following a fixed term. Next, Jokhmi. This also comes under the category of Muddati. It is drawn against dispatched goods. If goods lost in transit, the drawer or holder bears the cost and the drawee carries no liability. Now, in this slide, we are going to talk about the rights of intermediaries. Now, dear students, please understand, the intermediaries were very powerful. They played an important role in the promotion of trade. They helped the producers, especially in foreign trade. They consist of commission agents, brokers, and distributors for wholesale and retail of goods. Now let us talk about transport. So, in the olden days, land transport and water transport were very popular. Roads as a means of transportation had assumed key importance in the process of growth, especially in inland trade. Example, the northern trade route from Bengal to Takshashila. Now let us talk about the maritime trade. Maritime trade was another important branch of global trade network. The Muzirs, which is also called as the ancient harbour in Malabar coast, near to the present day Cochin in Kerala, has a long history of international maritime trade. Now, let us move to another important area, which is Calicut. This was also an important market for Chinese to acquire items like pepper, pearls, cotton, etc. Pulikkad on the Coromandel coast, which is presently in Tamil Nadu, was a major port in the 17th century. Textiles were the principal export item from Pulikkad to Southeast Asia. Now in this slide, our focus is going to be on the merchant corporations. The merchant corporations were very powerful and influential. They were autonomous corporations called as guilds. They were formed to protect the interest of the traders in ancient India. These corporations were organized on formal basis. They framed their own rules and code of conduct, which even kings were supposed to accept and respect. Moving on, the guild chief directly dealt with the king or tax collectors and settled the market toll, that is the tax, on behalf of its fellow merchants at a fixed sum of money. Thank you, dear students. I will catch you in another video, which is part B of Evolution and Fundamentals of Business. Thank you.